Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Katt for those of you who are just tuning in. Welcome to my crazy dream of becoming a makeup artist. I'm a local makeup artist in Lethbridge, Alberta, for those of you who don't know. So, I've always really liked the idea of doing a year in review because I find that it's important to look back and reflect. And because the last year has been a huge learning curve for me, just getting the YouTube channel started and a ton of other things in my personal life that really kind of steered me in a ton of different directions. So coming out of 2016, I was going through a lot of hardships personally. There was a lot of family problems I was having. Family member got extremely sick, and it really put a lot of sadness. I guess that's the best way to put it. It put a lot of sadness in my life that I never really experienced before. I've always been extremely lucky and blessed that I haven't gone through many hardships in my life. So when you're first given a hardship that you don't really know what to do with because it's something you've never really had to deal with before. Coming out of that, and along with that, around the same time, I lost somebody that was really dear to me, a good friend of mine who I thought was like a good friend, kind of walked out of my life in a certain weird way, which, things happen, right? And people, you need to learn how to, last year has taught me that you need to learn to let go of people who, they're just going in different directions, right? You need to be able to let go. It's healthy to let go. And it's healthy to forgive, right? So I've been really struggling with that because you have to learn to forgive people in order to move on from situations. So that's something that I'm still struggling with. I'm still trying to learn that. Yes, and along with that, coming into the end of last year, the end of 2016 was a big struggle. There was a lot of things going on. And so fast forward 2017, the beginning, I definitely was under a lot of different influences of different people that I had never met before. There was a lot of people telling me like who to be like, what to do, where to go. And they basically told me to redefine my idea of success, which now looking back, I realize that you need to find your own definition of success. You can't let other people define that for you, or else you're never going to be happy, because people are going to steer you on where they want you to go, and it's never going to be good enough. Because once you accomplish what they want, they're going to say, okay, you need to do this now, you need to do that now, you need to make more money, you need to do better makeup, you need to do this, you need to always on the next move. But I think that's great to always be ahead of the game, but also you need to stay true to yourself. One of the things that I always kind of prided myself in was that I've always been real, and I've never been able to fake anything. Even lying, I can't lie because the truth is on my face. People always say like, oh, you wear your heart in your sleeve, and I think that's important because that way you're always genuine. Even if you're unhappy, you're genuine about being unhappy. I remember somebody actually told me when I first started this, it was a boy, and I can't believe that I was even talking to him at that point. And he was telling me, he goes, why do you think you'll be successful in this when there's so many people wanting to do what you do? You're just like everybody else. You're not going to make it. Why do you think you're going to succeed? And I told him, basically the only answer I knew how to say. I said, well, being me was always enough, so I'm just gonna keep being me. I'm just gonna, basically stay true to who I am as a person and what I do and what I love, and I'm not gonna follow any other trends. And I kind of pride myself, and that's the reason I think that I've gotten this far, and that I've been able to make it is because I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I just kind of pave my own way and do what I want to do. And I'm not always perfect. I don't always do the most perfect thing. My Instagram's not always story perfect, and my Facebook might have some grammatical errors once in a while, but that's just who I am as a person. I'm very imperfect. And professional people might say, oh, well, those are taboo, and you're giving people the impression that you're not a professional. And trying to always be perfect and always to pay attention to what other artists are doing out there, to be like them because they make money and YouTube sponsors them, and this, that, and the other thing, it can get extremely exhausting. And then if you keep trying to chase what everybody else is doing and you keep trying to be like other people, you lose yourself entirely. And that's what I felt happened to me last year. I had a lot of these influences that weren't necessarily positive, and it was turning me into something I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a sponsored makeup artist. I didn't want to be, this perfect vision of what everyone, would think. I just kind of wanted to be me, and I wanted to do makeup. That was where it started and stopped. I wanted to be myself, and I wanted to do makeup. And whether that was my definition of success, was doing makeup and living, being able to live doing what I loved. It wasn't making millions of dollars. It wasn't having a fancy sports car or living in a giant house and having like all these brand name clothing and designer dishes. That wasn't my idea of success. My idea was to do makeup and be happy doing the makeup, and creating art. That's what it all came down to, is creating art. So anyways, I spent a lot of time with these negative influences, I guess, and things. The reason people will say, well, why didn't you leave? Why did you stay? Why did you not listen to this person? It's well, because a lot of the stuff they said was great. There was a lot of good advice. There was a lot of good times. So that kind of makes you stay in these situations. And before you know it, it's not until you look back where you realize, wow, I did change. And people told me, when I was in the midst of it, they were like, you've changed. You're not who you used to be. And I kind of figured that at first that they were just mad, or they weren't seeing the vision that I thought I was seeing. But looking back, I realized that it was me who changed, and it was hard. It was hard to realize that it was all me, and it was these, I was following a path that I don't think I was actually built to be on. I was meant to be kind of just who I've always been. And not saying I don't want to grow as a person or grow as an artist. There's definitely things I need to improve on. There's things I need to do better. Trying to be like other people and following other makeup artists who people deem as my competition, which I hate that word, competition, because there is no competing against other makeup artists. I am competing against myself always. Competing against my own work, competing against myself. When it comes to running a business, I'm not competing against anyone because I never wanted to run a business. I just wanted to do makeup. And if doing makeup and taking a payment equals a business, then yes, I guess I run a business. I have my license to run a business. I have the credentials to run a business. I'm running business legally here where I live, but that was never the end goal. The end goal was never to get rich doing this. The end goal was to be happy, and the end goal was to just be happy and create, period. Create. So yeah, coming out of that, it's been a learning curve of kind of finding out who I am and being comfortable in my own skin again. This year has been, half of it was basically battling, the resistance that I was feeling, like my spirit within myself was kind of resisting these changes that were being kind of imposed on me. Like, be like this, be like that, do this, do that. You're not successful. You will never be successful. Hearing these negative things, and you're only going to be successful if you have a have somebody backing you financially, because you're never going to make money. You know, you drive a stupid car. That was a fun one. Makeup is a race that's determined by finances, so you might as well give up and dye your hair black. I was like, what does that even mean? People kind of have this weird notion that I have pink hair because I'm a makeup artist, and they don't realize I actually have pink hair because I love pink. Believe me, if being pink, having a pink hair meant being a makeup artist, all the makeup artists would have pink hair or a crazy color. But let me tell you, it's not an easy thing keeping this color up. And also, I know plenty of other artists who have normal colored hair and they're perfectly awesome makeup artists. So no, I don't have pink hair because I'm a makeup artist, however you want to determine that. But anyways, coming out half this year was kind of fighting the resistance of these ideas being pushed onto me. And at first I kind of went along with them because I was so damaged from the year prior to that, with all my personal issues that were going on. I was really excited that I was being kind of directed, I guess, directed onto a path that I thought would be successful. But then I eventually realized that that was making me uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure if it made me uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it or because it was actually going against a lot of things that I had always planned for myself. I pride myself in being my individual self, you know. Fast forward to like kind of cleaning up that area of my life and finding myself. The rest of this year has been a lot of exploration on finding out who I am as an artist, where I really want to take this dream. I won't call it a business, I'll call it a dream, because that's what it is. I'm not here to make money, I'm here to just kind of build my own path, and that kind of, you know, see where that leads me. And if it leads me, you know, working a part-time job as a bartender, I'm not ashamed to do that, because at least I know I'm doing that following my dream, right? I remember I was actually like offered a bartending job, and someone kind of laughed at that, and they said it was embarrassing because bartending was embarrassing. Little did they know, or anybody else for that matter, I actually put myself through my degree in university and college bartending. So I really didn't find, that put a different idea in my head at that point, that I didn't realize that people would view these sorts of things that I never found embarrassing, like bartending. I think you must do what you always have to do, what you must in order to follow your path, follow your dream. Whether it is bartending or getting a part-time job, driving an Uber car, whatever you have to do to make it work, you gotta just do that and swallow your pride. So the fact that someone had kind of laughed in my face and told me that that was stupid and it was embarrassing, it really affected me. And it was so minuscule to say that, but it did affect me. It made me realize that maybe everything that I had thought in life was not true at all. And that's the first form of manipulation when you're in these sorts of things. Kind of like that gaslighting, or just making you view your reality as something that it's really not. There's nothing embarrassing about these sorts of things. So so the year passed. Like, this has been an amazing year. 2017 has been great. I have learned a ton about myself and the world. You know, everything in my personal life has really cleaned up and come 110%. Like, you know, the family member that was sick is healthy now, which is awesome. That's what we're really struggling with, even all throughout last year. And now things are seeming to really lighten up. And I'm kind of on my own, which I've always kind of wanted to be, like, just, you know, on my own as an artist and on my own as a business owner, whatever you want to call that. And I was able to find another studio space, which was really important to me, because the last one that I had was kind of, I left on not so great terms on, just because of the way it had ended. I wasn't ready to say goodbye to that space. but it was time, I guess. It was a part of my life that I needed to leave so I could come back stronger and grow. So I'm now paired up with a really amazing girl, and she's a photographer, and we have a great studio space. We have a great relationship, and it's just nice to kind of be in the space where you can create and you can build, your own little like heaven. I just kind of wanted to go over, 2017, like I said, has been a great year. I worked on 3 or 4 feature films, lots of commercial work, a couple different shorts, and also I worked on a lot of theater, which I really wanted to get back in. So the fact that I was able to do all of these things is really, I would say the year has been successful. And I met a lot of really awesome people. I've collaborated with a lot of cool people. It's been really good. So I won't go into too much detail with my personal life because I actually don't post a lot of vlogs when it comes to my personal problems or my personal, achievements. But I will say this, that if you ever find yourself in a situation that makes you doubt who you are as a person and what you're doing, if you're following a dream and you're put in a situation where someone is making you feel like you're stupid or you're insignificant or you don't know yourself, or you don't know your reality, you need to get out. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting my dream. Thanks for tuning into my channel. And I do hope that this reaches out to a lot of people that I know personally, that I don't, people who just like to follow. And I hope you leave with like good thoughts and good vibes. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my little 2017 in review. Sorry if it's a boring post, but it needed to be made and needed to be done. So awesome. Thank you.